Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Bomb has been defused.
Hey, what's up guys, it's adreN with Boomio, and I'm going to show you how I op on Overpass. Overpass has a bunch of different options for opping super aggressively, trying to get that info for your team or get that opening pick, or super passive, where you can have high survivability rate, but also a far line of sight to where you can have a ton of impact as well. So let me show you that in game. Some passive options on Overpass opping. So coming out of CT spawn here, we're not going to be getting aggressive. We're going to be just playing more passive in some of the bathrooms and highway area. So taking this angle is a pretty popular angle here. Be ready, since this is a super popular angle, be ready for the terrorist to try to jiggle peek you or try to juke you with this spot. This spot, you can try your success at it. I'm not a big fan of this spot, but it's a relatively safe spot to take a shot and dip back. Our next spot right here is just staying at highway around this area. You're going to be using this shadow to your advantage here. You can see people coming up as a terrorist. And I don't like to necessarily hold this angle here because, once again, it's a very popular angle. The terrorist is going to know that you like to hold this angle, so they might throw a flash at you, try to jiggle peek you, and really try to juke you at this spot. So what I like to do is I like to stay more passive like this, and then every once in a while you'll creep up and be the aggressor. Take a look. A lot of people like to line up smokes right here at this bench in this corner for a site. Take a look at it, fall back. And you can kind of repeat that process a couple times as long as your inside bathrooms is clean. If you want to hold an inside bathrooms angle, this angle right here is actually really good, and you can get a lot of terrorists just walking here right into your crosshair as they think they're safe. So this is a very good passive angle as well. Falling, let's check out long A here. This is a nice angle that you can start off just at the start of the round, and you're just going to aim right here. It's an angle that allows you to get a pretty easy shot and fall back into the CT spawn A site. This angle here as well, I recommend just jumping on the bench and getting up. So practice your KZ skills for that, and then just taking the same exact angle but at a higher height. So you might be not expected to be up here. You can juke flashes, tuck in, come back after you've been blind, and take a nice shot, drop off, escape. And that gives you a nice, passive angle, but also allows you to still open up the site here, or open up the round for your team in your favor. Another spot that actually I'm going to recommend for you guys to watch Fallen if you want to know how to really work this spot right here. We call this Sign. He likes to kind of swivel and be a turret in between opping this angle here, opping highway, opping bathrooms. He just kind of manhandles this position and just really makes it his own, and just tries getting as many picks on the terrorist team as they're running into the site. So this spot right here is definitely one to try to master and see if it fits your play style. If you want to be even more passive on the A-bomb site, an opera that I recommend checking out here is Skadoodle. He likes to always, his fallback position is always truck. He'll always be here. And like I said, Fallen really loves the Sign. So opping the truck here, he's just going to take a nice passive angle right here and just take a shot. You can swivel to the right, kill the long players. If you want to take an angle, kill the long players here. But it's the same kind of style as the Sign, but even more passive, as you're going to swivel here, swivel back, and just take your shots. And it's a spot where you can take a shot and for sure stay alive because you can just hide behind the truck. One last spot for the A-bomb site is this long angle from bank here. Just going to give you a nice safe angle to try to get a pick as the terrorists run up here. And that is all your very passive and passive angles for opping on Overpass, guys. Thanks for watching. Passive B options here. You're going to be going from CT spawn, and if you need to rotate your opper from A, that will a lot of times be at A. I like to take this path here into heaven, and the reason I like to take this path is because you have a nice far line of sight into the B site. So even if you happen to rotate late, you can still get here, and even before you get to the site, have a chance at killing someone entering the bomb site. So if you were to rotate the steps way here, it would take you longer to get here, and then just the chance of you being able to get a pick from very far away into the site is nice. So I like to take that path when rotating. And you'd think that heaven up here would be a very good spot to op at, since you have a really good vantage point. It's far away, so the op is powerful. But a lot of the times the terrorists will be smoking you out, so it's not a good spot to always keep your opper at. You only want to really rotate into heaven and rotate your op here if they happen to be hitting the B site. If they happen to not be opping or not be smoking heaven, then definitely exploit the fact that they're not smoking you out. But I don't recommend for the opper to always be here. Going into the actual B site, there's not too many passive options. Basically, you want rifles on the site. There is one spot here where you can kind of pivot quickly in between monster and short, which is a fairly like passive aggressive spot because you're going to be in, once they come into the bomb site here, it's going to be a very fast battle going down where you kind of pivot in between both spots. But once again, you can try making that work for yourself and your style. Thanks for watching, guys. This is adreN with Boomio, and that was some of the options you have for opping on CT side Overpass. Okay, talking about aggressively opping here on Overpass, I'm going to show you a bunch of different options. So coming out of CT spawn here, we're going to rush the fountain area. And what I recommend doing is jumping on the bench and then on the wall and then peeking into the terrace steps here. I really like doing it up top rather than down bottom just because you have that height advantage where you can't really see into the steps down here, but if you peek from up top, you have that edge that you can peer over and see the terrace first, as well as you can see deeper into the stairs and get that shot. So if you're here fast enough and you have one of the best spawns, you can get people crossing into playground. So getting this pick will give you a lot of early information as well as a chance to open up the round. If you don't see anyone, like I said, you can still get a ton of information because if you're here with one of the best spawns, you'll know if there's any terrorists here. Are they throwing a flash at you? Is there nobody there? That important is really information for that opper. It's really good information for that opper. So that's one of the really good ways to get early information and op on Overpass. And what you can do here is as you're coming out of the bathrooms, if you just throw a smoke right over top of the trash can and you hop above it, you'll have a slight one-way where you'll be able to see any terrorist crossing, and it'll be pretty tough for the terrorists to see you fighting back. So that's another good way to gain a very good advantage early in the round is throwing that smoke. Another good aggressive opping spot is coming out of CT spawn here. You'll be rushing into blue. So if you have a good spawn, you could either do the fountain peek there like I showed you, or you can come into blue very fast here and peek into this connector area and get a quick pick here. A lot of people will not be ready for an opper to peek you so fast, or he might be trying to get into a safe spot, but getting this early pick here can catch the terrorists off guard and get you that opening pick. Our next aggressive spot is going to be B. So coming out of CT spawn here, we're going to be coming out, and we're going to be coming at the short B, water part of B. So coming in here past the sandbags, this will be a popular position to hold. And if you feel comfortable that the terrorists aren't rushing you here, you can even go for more aggressive peeks. So coming into here and peeking into the short tunnel here can cut off the entire B site. If there's no one to your left, you can just cut off the entire B site from holding from the short tunnel here. So if you can get this spot, it's kind of like the position over at the A fountain, where if you get this spot early, you know that the terrorists can't be at a big portion of the map. So not only can this give you picks, but also help with the rest of your CT side setups. Another pick could be after you peeked water control and you've peeked into the short tunnel there, you could have your teammate open the door. You could bust a nade by throwing, you can bust the door by throwing a nade at the door and opening the door here. And you could opt into the connector as another way to peek into here. So those are your aggressive options that I like to do on Overpass.